Hi, this is Darren Porter, and we're in Zürich for Next Universe 2.
So, how you doing, Darren?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good. You just got here. How was your flight?
Flights were fine. Early start, connecting flight, nice rest, but yeah, really nice drive out, so good.
Last time we met was in Sweden back in May. At that point, you actually just turned 30. We celebrated your 30th birthday. How does it feel right now?
It's good. It's fine. You just for the first week after, it's like, oh, your 20s are over, but no, it's all good now. I'm fine. I'm actually embracing it, like I said I would. So it's good.
You're playing a very special back-to-back set tonight. What can you tell us about it right now?
Yes, it's the first time to go back-to-back with Sean Tyas. I think we have very similar kind of styles and good ideas. We sort of bounce off each other. So, yeah, it's the first time, so I don't know how it's going to go. I'm sure it'll go well. I'm sure there'll be no problems, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. So as of now, that's all I can tell you. See how it goes.
Looking at you and Sean, your relation, you started out as friends, and then you got into music. And looking at what you've done so far, you worked together. You remixed each other too, right?
Yeah. I think we've done pretty much everything, yeah. I've remixed for Sean, he's remixed for me. A collaborative track with Fairy Tale on Neptune's tracks. We've been in the gigs together, we get a chance to go back to back together. And as you know, I work with him on the Titanium label as well. So yeah, it's a big rounded thing now. So it's definitely a solid working relationship.
How do you see your relation with Sean evolve? Like from the beginning, how did it start?
I don't know. You can't really pinpoint, oh, that was the day, or that was when it happened. It just kind of, I think we met at one party a long time ago and just kind of kept in touch very vaguely and just kind of blossomed from there, really. Just like a normal friendship would be. I wouldn't have thought like the music industry influenced it. Of course it did in a way towards the end, more recently. But yeah, we just started out as friends, really, and it's still that way, and so long it may be.
What's he like to work with? I'm going to ask him the same question as well. So,
hopefully the mutual answers. But no, he's a really good guy to work with. He knows his stuff. That's one of the best things. We both have our own strengths in certain areas, and we can work together pretty well. But in the beginning, it was a lot of ideas that we'd throw out, and a lot of not bickering, but a lot of compromise was needed. But yeah, we've spent time in each other's studios and stuff, so now it's becoming a lot more fluid working relationship. So yeah, it's nice to have somebody around who really knows what they're doing in the studio, and to be able to take an idea and be able to achieve that without any experimentation, and know exactly what he's doing to get what he wants. So that's, yeah, credit him for that. And you learn from each other as well, so really good guy to work with.
Very recently, Sean visited your place in Germany for a couple of days, right? What was that like?
Yeah, that's right. It's always good having him around. But yeah, as you noticed, the last few months we've been doing a lot of Soundbanks, a lot of sound design, and I've taken my hand to it, and I've taken to it really well, and I fully enjoyed the creative freedom of being able to take a simple sound, a simple source sound, and creating something really big out of this, and understanding it. And Sean's helped me with that, and I think I flourished with the ability to create sounds. So he was with us for 4 days, and we done some new sound stuff. Not just trance music, it's just understanding different sounds and crazy stuff that you can use in different styles, whether you're using the context of 140 stuff, that sounds banging, brilliant. But yeah, sound design has been really good. So like I say, we've done a Silent pack for Silent 1, which is a very popular synth, and we also done one for Spire, and hopefully there'll be some more to come, different various synthesizers, which I'm learning, and it was awesome to have him around with his knowledge. His wealth of knowledge it's crazy how much he knows about this kind of stuff. To learn from him was pretty good. So yeah, you should come back more often.
How does it feel to create a sound bank to sort of give away to people? Like you take your own sounds and you make them available for everyone, right?
Yeah, because I know how hard it was starting out as a producer. We all start out using presets. We all start out using sounds that other people have used and made for you, and they kind of tell you in the sound banks, this is a bass sound, this is a lead sound. So if you don't know what you're doing with sound design, it's not a bad thing. You learn, obviously, everybody learns from somewhere, but you're kind of stuck and trapped into what you can use with the sound banks that are available, and they dictate to you what they are, the leads and stuff. So you kind of use those sounds, and then you become very stagnant. The whole genre builds around this particular sound. And if you want to break free of that, you need to do something different. So this is when I knew I needed to do some sound. I needed to understand and learn sound design, and I have done that. And the freedom and the ability is just exploded to be able to do what you want in a sound. If you can hear something in your head, you can now go and create that. You don't have to go and look and search for something that sounds close to it and tweak it.
Yeah, you can create it yourself.
Straight what you want, exactly what you need, you can get. And so I know how difficult it is not to have those kind of readily available. And I get a lot of requests and a lot of questions sometimes about how I do my basses and how I do my mids and how I do this driving kind of sound. And Sean as well, his older stuff, he was known for this big leads and sort of euphoric trance sound. So we kind of thought, yeah, let's do a sound bank. I think the majority of the sounds will be what a lot of people want, and especially in that kind of 130 plus subgenre. And the feedback has been amazing, and especially the Silent and the new Spire one, because Spire was a much more, it's a broader synthesizer. You got so much more possibilities with that, and yeah, to get that aggressive, really sort of energetic, powerful sound, it was nice to be able to give or make available to people what wasn't available to me, really.
Have you heard any tracks where you hear like your own things in it?
Not yet. It's still reasonably new. But the feedback from a lot of the bigger producers, the big guys in the business, have said they have held hands up. They will be using some of the sounds that are in this bank. So nothing wrong with using presets at all. Nothing wrong at all. But I do encourage to just dabble a little bit, just play around, try and understand a few little bits and bobs. Even if you get a really simple sound, it's your simple sound that you've done, and yeah, it's opened up a whole new world for me in the last 18 months, 2 years.
So the sound banks are actually, I figured it was more for the fans, but it's actually even more for you as well, where you learn how to create them, right?
Yeah, I'd learned how to create them, and so some of the sounds in those sound banks are sort of really famous, popular sounds, which weren't made readily available. I'm sure Sean will tell you if you ask him in the interview as well about the sounds. He was giving away some of the sounds that he used in his most iconic tracks like Lift and his remix for Time and stuff like this. Those leads and things people were after for a long, long, long time, and now those are available. So it's nice to give back a little bit, and yeah, it is a little bit for us, because now I have to go and create something completely new again. I can't use the stuff I've already used because it's now available to other people. So I want something unique. It keeps me on my toes as well to create something new and fresh. So yeah, it is about everybody wins with these sound banks, I think.
As a producer, how do you see your own personal strong points?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Go into weaknesses as well, if that's going to be easier, but strong points.
Strong points? All I can go off strong points is feedback. I couldn't say to myself, I am good at this. It's just depending on the feedback from other people. And it seems to be that I have a strong following for my style in sort of the basses and the energy and the drive and stuff in the tracks, which is really nice to hear, because when I first started out producing, that was one of the main elements that I really wanted to get right, and I really listened for in certain tracks. So to be able to be kind of known for that is quite humbling. So yeah, if anything, that would be one of my strong points. And melodies and well, not really melodies. My understanding of theory of music helps me a lot when writing melodies and stuff. Weaknesses, well, everybody's their own worst self-critic. So yeah, how long have you got?
Well, looking at, is there something that you yourself feel that you want to improve?
I would like to be able to introduce something new into this genre while keeping my own flavour. Keeping what everybody wants, but giving them something new without kind of scaring them away with that. And that's difficult to do. You can't just sit on one day, I'm going to do something new for this genre. It kind of evolve that way. And hopefully one day soon, I have a few ideas floating around, and that'll be one of them. So if anything, I want to be able to put something new into my sound. I don't want to become stagnant, which sometimes you run the risk of doing.
Now, I have to tell you, you know this as well, but Spellbound has been one of my favorite tracks ever since it came out. But The Oracle is even better. How do you do that?
That's nice to hear, because I think it's the third or fourth time we've interviewed each other now. Yeah. We spoke. I think when you asked me the similar question before about the follow-up to Spellbound, which was Terraforming, how did you do it? I didn't know. Was it a fluke? And I remember you asking, was the pressure on? Yeah. And the pressure really was on at this point. So yeah, it was about 20 or 30 melodies in and then out. Some were too overcomplex, some were too simple, some were too... It was difficult to find something that was going to work, and not only that, give it an element or an ambience or a tone on top of what I was known for. It was really kind of difficult to get something, and it's really nice to hear, and the feedback has been really good as well. So it's a thank you for that. To kind of outdo a track that kind of gave me the big boost in the first place makes the hard work worth it. So yeah, thank you. If you're asking for an answer to how I do it, I don't know. I don't know. It just happens. It just becomes what it is.
What can you tell me about the Oracle itself? The track itself, and the name of it. It fits really, really well as well.
The name kind of came around when I was working on the breakdown. you probably find a pattern emerging in some of my original tracks, whereas I like a really aggressive intro, or really aggressive sounds, and really dirty, kind of just sort of punch in the face bass lines, and then have a really sort of somber, ambient contrast in the breakdown, really serene, and then reflect that again with the two contrasts working together. And this is what I aimed out to do. And for some reason, it was just the kind of I was always looking somewhere. I wish there was somebody asked, what do I do now? What do I do now? What do I do now? I was kind of always asking this invisible thing in my head, what do I do now? And there's kind of been, I'm asking kind of the oracle what to do on this track, and it became that, if you know what I mean. It became the track became what I was asking. So the name kind of was always floating around that kind of idea. So yeah, it became the oracle, and it kind of fit. And yeah, so thank you for noticing the track. It fits the music.
It's a very, very beautiful track. Now, I still love it, and I still listen to it a lot, but what are you working on right now?
I am working on an original track. Again, a new follow-up to this, hopefully released very early next year. It's not finished yet. Again, playing around with ideas, because he asked me again, is the pressure on? God, the pressure's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what's that like to live with? How do you, is it your own pressure, or is it pressure from other people, or from people expecting you to produce, or is it...
Everything you've said, all of that plus 10.
All right.
Everything all in one bundle. Yeah, you would argue just make music for yourself, which I do. That is number one priority, of course. And then you make music what people would want to hear, but at the same time you can't just repeat what you've done, because that's bad. So the new one I'm doing, I'm kind of hitting a brick wall, because I've got all the foundations done. I know what the overall tone's going to be, but now it's just the little delicate parts which I concentrate a lot of time on. It might not come through as much in the music, but in the end, all these little delicate parts that come together make the overall sort of unique thing of the track. And this is what I'm kind of not struggling, but I've hit a brick wall a little bit. And hopefully it'll turn out well. So if we see each other again after the new year,
we'll go back and talk to it again.
See how it turns out.
Yeah. What is the production process look like? Where do you start?
Normally I would get all of my sort of the meat down, the good foundations of what I want. So you're talking about your kicks and your subs and your mids. That'll then dictate the overall mood of the track, whether I'm doing a remix, whether I'm doing a collaborative track or a solo track. I'll always start with this kind of overall tone. Then I'll decide on the breakdown where I'm going to go. Am I going to go like a techie? So most of my remixes are sort of like a really aggressive techie kind of aggressive trance, not really uplifting or really floaty like the originals are. So this is kind of dictated early on, so that's my normal process: kicks, subs, mids, percussion, acids, that kind of thing, and then start finding the hooks and the elements to complement those. That's normal. Who knows? I might change. Who knows?
How do you decide which tracks are worth working on and finishing? Because I'm guessing you're working on several productions at the same time, but you choose the ones that you feel are good enough to finish, right?
Yeah, this is something I do. I can sit down and I can write out, 10 melodies a day if I wanted to. And they might sound really mediocre, maybe really generic. There's just nothing special about them whatsoever. Give them a nice sound, just work a couple of hours on each one. And then a week later I'll go back and just randomly open up these projects. And if something really picks out at me, I say, there's something about that I like, I'll go and find out what it is. And then I'll take something from this one, take something from this one, take something from this one. And I'll end up doing something out of many different projects. It's very rarely I'll sit down, okay, this is the one project I'm going to start, and I'm going to start and finish this project, and that's the result. Normally, a track or a finished result will be a mixture of about 10 projects that I've had different ideas in, and I've liked, and I've pulled all together into one. So, I never sit down and think, okay, today I'm going to do a good track. It doesn't work that way. Not for me, anyway.
We had a discussion before this interview about your original tracks, how many you do a year, how many you release. Mm-hmm. How do you see that today? Because a lot of producers push out a lot of tracks. Yeah. And then you have the ones like you who choose the best ones, sort of, and release those.
It's a difficult question because there's no sort of rules. There is no definitive way of what should be like this and how often you should be releasing and what you should be releasing and when. If I don't feel a track is ready to be released, or I have something finished and it's just not going to be good enough, or it's going to be substandard to the previous one, I just won't release it. I won't even send it off to demos. But I wait and wait and wait until I'm really happy with something, and if that takes 6 months, takes 6 months. If it takes 12 months between Terraforming and Spellbound, it was 12 months. Yeah, fair enough, there was a lot of remix work in between, but it was 12 months between those original tracks because I wasn't ready and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. Oracle took a little less time, and I'm currently nearly finished working on a new one now, so it's getting quicker. But yeah, if it takes 12 months, 24 months, I don't care. As long as I'm personally really happy and satisfied with what I have, then I'll put it out. But I would never rush a track just to get out to meet a release quota. I wouldn't do this.
I love the way you're thinking here. How do you challenge yourself in the studio?
I listen to a lot of other music. I listen to a lot of trance music. I listen to a lot of random music. Spotify is awesome for this. You just open up the browser and click random mood and just go through playlists, and you come across some really good gems. And you hear something and you don't know why you like it. And with a brand new genre or brand new music or a new band or a new singer you've never heard of and you don't know why you like something, that is a chance to understand that, and that help you influence what you're doing and try new techniques, new ideas. So I challenge myself a lot. Again, going back to working with Sean, we Skype almost daily just with random stuff and things and just day-to-day things. And we set each other little challenges. Go and do this and see if we can do that, see if we can do this. And it improves you as a producer, improves your technique, your understanding of sound design and stuff like this. It might be challenging myself to come up with a new lead sound or something just different that isn't already out there, and implement it into a track. So yeah, challenges are always there. You could never sit down and be satisfied with a day's work doing what you done yesterday. Do something different.
I hear that the Lion King soundtrack actually means a lot to you as well.
Yeah. We went over this before, didn't we? I remember this. Yeah, it's got something. I think 94 was released. Yeah, and it was Hans Zimmer. A lot of people will know who he is. He's one of the heavyweights in Hollywood for music composing, and he won an Oscar for that. And being the age I was in 94, it was a kind of a film I really wanted to see. I was a kid, so seeing The Lion King and listening to the music and understanding and remembering how that made me feel was crazy. Music can do that. And then I remember going to school and was in a music lesson and somebody suggested, or the teacher suggested, ever try watching a movie without music. Didn't really dawn on me until I kind of thought about it, and then The Lion King was on and it was on mute, and it just didn't feel the same. And that's when I realized that music does a lot to you, and it's a very important thing in my life now is music. And The Lion King was the kind of the soundtrack and the score that made me realize how powerful music can be. And Hans Zimmer is one of the best at doing that. Inspired me a lot.
Looking at, because you produce film scores as well, looking at how do you spend your time right now between trance productions and film scores?
It's a lot more on the trance now. The film scoring was before the trance. College and university doing sort of independent movies and small TV shows and game apps, things like that. And I really enjoyed doing it because you had complete freedom. You had no rules or any formulas to follow. You didn't have to have certain elements. You didn't have any pressure on you and such. And it was complete creative freedom. You had to create something to sort of dictate to people how you're supposed to feel. And that's different to trance. But I love trance music so much. It's kind of taken over my life now. It's now full-time. If I do get the time to do a project for some scoring, some media somewhere along the line, I will probably take the opportunity to do that. But recently it has taken a back seat. But it'll always stay with me as a passion. I would love one day, hopefully the opportunity might present itself where I could probably get back into that. But we'll see how things go.
Another favorite tracks of mine, of yours, is actually A Legend Returns, which is it's a movie score piece. What can you tell me about that, and what did you want people to feel with that track?
Some people you might notice that every now and then on SoundCloud I'll upload a little cinematic piece what I've just been working on. It's just to get my ears away from banging bass lines for 9 hours a day. Sometimes it can take its toll a little bit. And yeah, sometimes I just jump back into this old stuff, just have a little play around, just to see if I've still got some unique things that'll work. And Legend Returns was, I was just playing these chords, very simple on the piano, just simple chord patterns, and I was just thinking of stuff. And yeah, it was just something popped in my head about somebody who wants to come home from being away and things, and how would you be greeted at the airport, and what would be playing in this scene. So I just envisioned this whole scene of somebody coming home from touring away with military or something like this, and yeah, being greeted by the family and friends, and what that would mean to them, and how would you dictate this to people, and how would this sound, and how would it make you feel. And that was the result of it. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
It's fantastically beautiful. I'll put it on the YouTube info so people can check it out. It's still on your SoundCloud, right?
It is. Yeah, this is amongst other things. Yeah, so if you want to hear something different from me, it's not all banging 140 trance. There are some ambient stuff there too, and film scores and cues and things. So yeah, check them out.
What can we expect from Darren Porter in the future, in the coming year, 2015?
Hopefully, I will be doing a few more originals more frequently. There's a couple of collaborations lined up as well, with some people, some new people, some people you already know. Follow up on a few things, a couple of remixes due as well. And hopefully I'll get a tour a bit more often as well, so you might see me in some place I haven't been before. So yeah, there's a few things coming up, a couple of announcements to be made, and yeah, so hopefully I'm expecting 2015 to be, again, another year which I can grow and grow and grow. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hi, this is Darren Porter in Zurich for Next Universe 2. This is Kids and Media, and thank you for watching.